So we've made a lot of progress. We're here with Ross Tessine from Wood Fire Power YouTube channel. And Ross, what progress have you made?
Well, I got the double top plates on. The way I did it is, again, there's 2x6s coming up forming the interior wall that the plastic will push against. And then I framed a 2x4 wall to the outside just on 16 centers with a base 2x kicker that the bottom pressure will kick out on that. And that's bolted into the tension members going through. Then on the top of the wall, there are two, I use 2x6 because 2x6 laps the edge of the 2x6 lining wall and the 2x4s, which are 3.5, so those two thicknesses added together just about equal the 2x6. So I use 2x6 top plate. They're better for tension anyway, a little less splitting. And then with this finished, then I smooth the interior out and put a little bit of gravel dirt in the corners to keep any dirt from kicking out, and then I've lined it with a layer of bubble insulation, which is radiant barrier bubble insulation. So it has an aluminum backing that kind of blocks radiation, heat losses, and bubble. And then you can see I'm starting now to put a layer of R11 insulation like you'd put in a house wall, 2x4 wall. And I'm going to just cover the entire bottom with that. It will provide some insulation resistance for heat losses out the bottom, but that isn't really very important because the earth itself is an insulator in this context. It also becomes part of the thermal mass of the water, which is what you're trying to create, is a large thermal mass here. And heat would have to go down into the dirt and across and back up and out to the outside cold in order to lose the heat. So that's a long process. So what I'm going to do is line it with the insulation, and the main purpose of that is to cushion the plastic liner, since that's going to be an inexpensive polyethylene liner, double layer of polyethylene. And I don't want it to stretch or hit any rocks or any sharp points or anything like that. So both the bubble and the R11 fiberglass insulation are making it so that the plastic liner is never going to see anything sharp and will be cushioned. And when I put the sheeting in, I'll make sure that it's bunched with some little pleats in it so that if it wants to stretch into a corner or whatever, it has extra plastic to do that.
So the R11 right here that you started to lay down, didn't you also want to put bubble wrap on this wall, on both those walls, before you put that R11 down?
No, the R11's only going on the bottom. For the wall insulation, that'll be done on the exterior of the wall, and it'll be about a foot thick. So that'll go out here. So I'll put I think it's R13. It's like R11, but the more modern version's R13. So it's a little bit thicker, and that'll fill these stud bays, and then I'll put 9 inches of insulation to the outside of that. That comes in 4-foot long bats. So those, I'll just use 2-foot bats and stand them up on end and stack them all the way around, and then probably just draw some plastic or something around it just to keep them in place as an insulation. So the walls are where you need to put the insulation for thermal retention.
Right. But I mean, you put the bubble wrap on these two walls, on this wall here, and then the wall that I'm standing on, but not on these two, so I'm wondering why.
Well, that's because I just happened to have this bubble wrap laying around, and that's how big it was, and it isn't worth bothering to cut it. I just threw the extra in there, and the purpose of the bubble wrap was to line the floors, not the walls. So it's completely covering the floor, which is where the gravel is, because I don't want the road-based rocks to puncture the plastic.
Okay, and so we'll see more at the next video
All right.
when we come do the outside insulation.
Great.
Can't wait.